Hello dears, and welcome back to the channel Benidorm by Ana, where we share with you a lot of interesting and useful information from Benidorm town and Spain in general. Today, as every Monday and Friday, it's time for the latest news update from Spain. We'll be talking about a lot of different useful news today about the situation in Spain, as well as if it's true or not that Spanish airports will be going on strike during the next couple of months, because it's the news that has been bothering a lot of people recently, and I got a lot of comments and questions about it. And the last news we'll be talking about is what's going to be happening with Benidorm Bars and all the surrounding areas bars, because a lot of them are willing to shut down during this winter. Why? You'll get to know it in today's news update. First of all, let's talk about the situation shortly. Right now, there is way less tourism, obviously, than in summer. However, I still see that there is high increase. It's not as bad as we thought it would be. It's not as empty as we thought it would be. And in the last video where I've showed you even on a rainy day how Benidorm's old town was looking like, if you did not see that video, I'm going to link it here down below. In that video, I've showed you that there's a lot of people even on a rainy day, a lot of people on the terraces walking around the Mediterranean Avenue. The Levante Beach is still quite busy, so you don't need to be afraid if you're coming in these like colder out of season months, because it's still amazing. It's still really nice, sunny and warm, and there's a lot of people wandering around discovering new places during their holidays. Hotels and apart hotels as well are lowering down the prices, which is a good thing because we are outside of the summer and peak season already, so everything's fine. The only issue is the price increase and the electricity increase, which brings us to the second news of today. And it's that sadly a lot of bars and restaurants are willing to shut down during this winter. Better to say, I was talking with a lot of bar owners that we know here in Benidorm and in Alcalá, which is where we are today. And what they basically said is that they might be forced, better to say, to shut down this winter because they cannot cope with all the expenses. Bars here in the area, especially on the first line of the beach, like those ones might be, they were paying around 1,500, 1,800 expenses for electricity per month. Right now, what happened is that they are paying already more than 3,000 a month for the same amount of electricity consumed, which is just crazy amount. It's more than 3 times than they used to pay, sometimes even more, and they just cannot cope with these expenses because their business is going well, but still to be paying for triple of electricity, for all the salaries, for the increase of price of products, for everything, they just cannot deal with it. So a lot of them are saying that probably they will be needing to shut down to avoid bankruptcy of those people, the owners of these bars, and to wait for better times to come. So this year, autumn/winter, is going to be really difficult for a lot of us in here, for a lot of bar owners, business owners in general, if our government will not deal with it finally, because the Iberic exception that they did, the kind of regulation of prices here and in Portugal, was something that was supposed to help, but it's just not doing anything of it. The prices are still increasing, and it's just a lot that people pay, especially businesses, and they don't receive any benefit from what they're doing and on what they're basically working. So it does not make any sense for them to stay afloat any longer, which means that it's quite probable that if nothing will change, we'll see quite a lot of signs of rented or for sale, sadly, here in the area of Benidorm, Alcalá, Altea, and in a lot of other areas in Spain, because the situation is more or less similar, especially in touristic zones. Let me know what you think about this in the comments, and let us know, please, if the situation with electricity and gas costs especially is as bad in your country as it is here in Spain. The next news that I wanted to share with you all is about the airports. A lot of people were asking me if it's true that airports here in Spain will be going on strike. I hadn't heard this news this year. It's true that I've heard it a couple of years ago, which was kind of strange to me because usually, I'm one of the first ones to know because I'm constantly searching for new updates for you guys. And this is kind of an important thing for tourism. So I thought I should know if something like this will happen. So I started to research in Spanish newspapers and all the information. I've checked on the airports, websites, and there was no mention about upcoming strike. What I did find was an article of British newspaper that was saying basically that it's true that Spanish airports will be going on strike for 25 days starting from now up until December. But this article is talking as if it would be starting right now, when actually this happened a couple of years ago before pandemics. This happened like in 2019, 2020 already. So it's an old news. I'm not sure if they did not check the date or what is actually going on with them, you know, because it's not today's news. This is news from a couple of years ago. So I don't get how they did this, and other newspapers caught it, and they say these newspapers were spreading fake news. You know, they were starting to alarm UK tourists, British tourists. This is not something that's happening, you know, and I suppose this is just some, you know, specific publicity that they're doing for themselves in order to rise up the views of their newspaper and articles being viewed by other people. Because, you know, we've had a lot of strikes on different airline companies. That's true. There's Ryanair, EasyJet, Lufthansa, Iberia Express right now as well. So it's not any news anymore that there were some strikes on airline companies that did affect a lot of airports here in Spain. But as it is for the airports itself, it's totally fake news, once again, that there will be strikes. There won't be any kind of strikes here in Spanish airports, not in Alicante, in Madrid, Mallorca, Barcelona, Valencia, nowhere. There will be no strikes in Alicante or any other airport planned here in Spain. It's fake news. It's something that happened a couple of years ago, and it's not going to be happening this year. Definitely not. So, breathe, because it's not going to be any kind of issue at all. This newspaper did not say anything about it. They did not say why they put this fake news on there. Probably was just a mistake, but I honestly think that it's being done on purpose, in order for people to read their article. You know, I think that's the thing. They just wanted to scare more and more tourists, you know, with all the hype of, that's the word, with all the hype of strikes of different companies. They said, okay, we're gonna put that one right there as well, you know. People will read it and that's it. But it's actually not true at all. So if you will be coming the upcoming months or even this weekend, I know that there are people who will be traveling this weekend, like today, tomorrow, and the day after. Don't worry, because everything is fine. It's true that Ryanair is on strike, but they have their strikes from Monday till Thursday each single week. They don't go on strike on weekends, so you should not be affected by anything of it at all. And all airports are working perfectly fine here in Spain, so no worries, it's totally fake news. Some people are also interested if there are a lot of queues at the airports, if there are any kind of issues, if you need to wait a lot of time to go through the baggage claim or through the security. Right now, it's not as problematic any longer, because there's way less tourists arriving to the airports, and there's enough staff to cope with this amount of tourists. So there are no large queues as there used to be during summer. You still need to come with some slight time in advance before your flight, as the airline company recommends to do. But it's not something you need to be worried about. You're not going to miss your flight, as it happened to a lot of people due to these massive hour queues that were happening during especially June, July, and beginning of August. Right now, everything is totally fine. All the companies are working. Even Ryanair, that is on strike from Monday till Thursday, they still have a minimum amount of service. And though some flights might be slightly delayed, here in Alicante, there was maybe just 1 or 2 flights that were cancelled. Apart from that, all the other flights, they're working perfectly fine. And people are traveling. They're coming and going back home without any kind of issues at all. So don't worry, you'll be able to enjoy your holidays in here. And now let's talk about the weather. What is happening during this upcoming week? I know a lot of people got scared when I showed you that it's a rainy day here in Benidorm, that it was storm here in Benidorm, and you thought that this is the weather that is waiting for us all this entire week, but it's actually not the case. The weather will be quite nice. Today it's true that we still have quite a lot of clouds here in the area, but it's still very, very warm and nice. As you can see on this first picture right here, we might have some rain on the north parts of Spain, in Catalonia and on Balearic Islands as well. However, here just a little bit of clouds, but nothing major, nothing to be worried about. And it should not be raining definitely here in Benidorm zone, at least up until next upcoming week, Tuesday/Wednesday. And then we'll see what else might be happening. So you will be able to explore all the zone without getting wet on the rain. The temperatures in here today are also really, really mild and comfortable to go out. You can actually see that there are quite a lot of people going out and exploring. There are some people on the beach area as well, just enjoying their quality time. Temperatures are still really, really nice, and it's something that we who live here and tourists as well love about coming to our region, to Benidorm and surrounding area. It's because even at the end of September there are summer temperatures. Right now we have around 30 degrees, which is just gorgeous weather, and it's not as hot as it was in August, so it's ideal to explore. The temperatures, as you can see on the second map, they are really, really nice in all the entire country. Just here and in Murcia it's slightly warmer than in other places, but all the rest are less than 30 degrees, just slightly less. Here today we'll have around 29 degrees, in Alicante 30, in Barcelona 27, Granada 29, Malaga 27, Sevilla 29, Madrid 26, Murcia 33, the warmest today, Balearic Islands 29, Canarian between 27 and 29, and there's not going to be any kind of massive changes at all during the upcoming week. The temperatures will remain the same. And the water temperature is of 27 degrees, so it's still ideal for swimming and enjoying the beach, and also for bikini holidays here in Benidorm town and surrounding area. This was the latest news update from Spain and Benidorm town. I hope you enjoyed watching it. I hope you got to dissolve all the doubts that you have had regarding if Spanish airports will be going on strike or not, what will be happening with the bars, and what the situation is right now here in September in Benidorm area. I wish you a lovely and positive beginning of a new weekend, and I'll see you already on Sunday with a new video here on the channel. Bye.